Hey guys, welcome back to Minecraft The End. We will be reading chapter 22, which is titled The Final Battle Again. Starts on page 225 and goes to page 231. If you guys have enjoyed this novel so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Minecraft novels and books. Without further ado, here we go. Chapter 22, The Final Battle Again. Otimo the Magnificent and El Finn the Archimage exploded out of the shulker's box. They landed on a battlefield already burning. The Enderman Holiday Choir hid behind pillars or simply fled. The Ender Dragon roared in injured fury. It dodged and flew between the pillars, bleeding freely from one wing. Jess and Cole were encamped in the center of the island on the stone courtyard, weapons drawn, waiting for ED to drop low enough to end it all. Rory ran between them, doling out healing potions. Jax whooped and hollered. He danced in the scorched earth. He reloaded his crossbow for the kill shot. No! Cried Mo. She leapt at him and knocked the arrow out of his hand. You melon, he snarled. What are you doing? I'll explain later. Jax rolled his eyes and shrugged her off. It was time for battle, and he had no interest in listening to her innermost thoughts. The Ender Dragon saw them. Its white eyes blazed. It folded its wings and dove straight for them. Yeah, let's go. This is it. Jax laughed with delight. Final checks. Everyone, got your coats? Got the keys? Anybody need to go to the bathroom? No. Then let's do this. He notched in another arrow and put the dragon in his sights. He fired. ED opened its nostrils, monstrous purple jaws. It ate the arrow like it was nothing. Then it ate Jax. It happened right in front of Mo. 1 minute he was there, dancing from foot to foot, trash-talking an ancient deity favorite pet. The next minute he was gone. A lonely bough fell from the sky. Oh my gosh, gasped Finn. Oh my gosh. ED, stop, screamed Mo. It's me. But ED was the infinite lightning night lizard at the end of the universe, and it didn't care. ED was doing what it was made to do, protect the end from outsiders. Nothing else mattered. And Mo was an outsider, too. She'd never been anything but. The Ender Dragon turned on her. With a shriek, it swooped down to devour her as well. Mo took off a dead run, but it wasn't just ED. Everyone was shrieking. Everyone was screaming. Everything burned around them. Can! Mo thought wildly. Where was Can? Where had he teleported to? Was he safe? Finn shoved her down just as ED pulled up, catching his upper arm with one claw. Elfin the Archimage cried out in pain. Mo ate sand. This is the great chaos. Death and battle. It seems like a game until everyone's on fire and your friend is dead. Rory tossed her a healing potion from behind a pillar. The dim light of the end caught the glass bottle. It sparkled briefly, and then ED barreled through again. The bottle shattered. A rain of healing mist down, too diffused to help everyone, especially Rory, lying face down on the rock, her eyes closed. Finn screamed wordlessly, No! 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 They now know. They were supposed to be fixing the cycle. Everything was supposed to be okay. Help! Yelled Cole over the din. Finn, Mo, help! They scrambled over the broken stones through the storm of the flame and debris toward Jess and Cole. A pair of Endermen had them pinned down, punching at them with bare fists. Carson breathed, Mo. It was Can's secondary Hunbent and Kanika. The fragment Finn had met outside the inner dome. The fragment from Kraj's brain bank squad. Two wasn't quite enough to achieve enlightenment. It was just enough to be really good at fighting and now why you wanted someone dead. And know why you wanted someone dead. Finn searched the ground. A sword. Someone's, anyone's. No, not anyone's. His. Theirs. Their treasure. Borrowed by an Enderman and left where it lay. Mo was already crawling toward a trident. She was closer than he was. Finn waved to Mo. Go, go, go. Go without me. I'll be fine. Carson hit the coal over and over. Kanika went at Jess with bare teeth. Finn got his hand around the fallen sword. Mo rolled over with the trident clutched in his blistered fingers. But it didn't matter. Not much does when there's a dragon involved. ED sped through the air toward the little gray courtyard. Finn's legs pumped under him, willing the distance between him and Jess to disappear. Jess, who just wanted to build her library and live here in the end, like they had. Jess, who saved him. Jess, who he saved. Jess, with her long brown hair and her constantly rolling eyes. Finn sobbed. He hadn't even got a chance to tell her how glad he'd been that she wanted to stay. Mo almost made it to them. She would have made it, but unknown variables will have their way. Loathsome rocketed out of nowhere. Her bloodshot eyes streamed tears. The undead demon horse collided with her mother, knocking her out of the courtyard. The mayor turned round to look at Mo just as ED opened his mouth and emptied his gullet onto Jess, Cole, Carson, Kanika, and Lonesome, engulfing them with all white hot fire. The humans went to ash in an instant. Finn didn't even have time to call Jess's name. Cole's face went slack in total disbelief, then drifted away like dust. Till at the last second, he simply knew he was going to escape. He always escaped. Carson dissolved into smoke. Kanika looked up at the infinite blackness of the end. It is lonely out here on the dunes. Finn heard her think, and then she was gone too. Loathsome burned. Her undead body was the candle. Her long mane was the wick. She burned and burned. Mo sobbed. She held her arms out to the horse, but she couldn't touch her. The flames were too hot and fierce. Mama! Loathsome cried out in her mind. Slain, slain. The dead horse stumbled to her knees. Why, Loathsome? Mo's thoughts were soaked in tears. Why didn't you stay safe, like we told you, you beautiful dummy? She stretched her arms out to the creature she could never touch again. Don't die. Only dummies die. Mo reached out into Loathsome's gentle, goldish soul for the last time. She saw the infinite graveyard, the wiry trees, the silky moon, the gravestones, all written over with new things, eating flowers, running in the rain, music, cage in the sky, Mama, dragon, Mama, Ultimo the Magnificent, and one red goodbye. A rotting, moldering hand scrambled up out of the grave dirt. I love you, Mo thought to the graveyard of her baby's mind. The hand waved sadly, then it went still. Finn and Mo stood in the middle of the carnage, slack-jawed. They never had a chance. How could anything happen that fast? It wasn't fair. You couldn't fix it. It wasn't fixable. It shouldn't be allowed to happen that fast. Through his tears, Elfin, the Archnage, whispered, We can still break the cycle. If we find Can, he can teleport 3 of us back to the overworld. That's not too much. ED's still alive. If we leave now, it can start over again. It can't start over again. But Mo couldn't move. She couldn't leave Loathsome. She couldn't even leave Jax flying around up there in the belly of the Underdragon. 3 days ago I was happy, she thought, and lay down on the earth with her hands over her head. What did it matter what happened? She wasn't Ultimo the Magnificent. She didn't even have a brother. She was nothing. The song didn't have time to start out quiet. It burst into the air at full volume, rich and lovely and sad and sweet and complicated like everything else. Mo knew that song. She turned her head, looking for the source. Finn tried to see through the smoke and his own tears. He knew that song too, but Can shouldn't be here. He should stay safe. Stay away, Crumple told us. Can never stays away. Ash settled onto his hand. Finn stared at it and shuddered. He dropped below the smoke layer and crawled to where Jax had dropped his crossbow. He wrapped his arms around it and held it tight. Edie wasn't going to get Can too. It just wasn't. But Edie wasn't going after Can. It wasn't moving. It was listening. The Ender Dragon cocked its head to one side, listening intently to the music. Its muscles held perfectly still. Can advanced out of the shadows, playing his note block better than any note block had ever been played or ever will. His green eyes glowed in the black fog. Mo put her hand on Finn's arm. He nearly jumped out of his skin. You scared the life out of me, he thought wildly. Mo looked deep into his eyes that had been purple until 3 days ago. She held him tight, and between their minds they understood everything in an instant. They didn't have to plan. They didn't have to argue. Can can't die, thought Mo, no matter what it cost. And a moment after that, and none of the rest of them either. It's not their fault their vacation turned out into a nightmare. They don't deserve to lose everything. I don't want to remember anyway, Finn thought. We failed. I don't want to remember we failed. The end is what counts. Our end. They were both holding the crossbow. Finn let go. Mo stood up and strode across the island. The end burned behind her. Her hair glowed in the light. Edie turned to see her. It heard no more music. It saw the other prey, no other prey, only her. The Ender Dragon spread its black wings into the sky, bellowed to the heavens, bent down, and launched itself toward her. Mo didn't flinch. She aimed, and she fired. Game over. The Ender Dragon bellowed into her brain. Try again. The bolt took the Ender Dragon between the eyes. The lights went out in ED, but not before the colossal bulk of its body slammed into Ultimo the Magnificent, crushing her mercilessly against the stony earth. Ash, smoke, embers floated through the air. Can and Finn ran to her, never once thinking they could make one bit of difference. They found two things where Mo died. Her body and a glistening black and violet egg. But that wraps up chapter 22. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And if you did, hit that like button. And I will see you guys next time for chapter 23.